Good evening, and this is what's happening in your area. Tonight, a top secret video was released to our news station. It concerns Washington, Jefferson, and Patrick Henry. You might just want to watch this.
Why did you guys call this meeting?
We called it to make sure that you would not ratify the Constitution.
We have to make sure you make the correct decision and do not ratify that Constitution or side with Madison.
Well, I haven't really made a decision yet, but under the Articles of Confederation, our government was definitely too weak and vulnerable.
The Articles of Confederation made the best government.
We are Americans, and we are very virtuous. So, a republic would be very good.
That is true, we are virtuous.
The question is, do we have a democracy or a republic?
I don't think we should have a democracy, for it's impractical. Like, we can't have too much power with the people. It'll never work.
But the people need to be able to govern themselves. At least choose the people who will govern them, because they have to live under that government.
You're right. A large republic cannot really represent its people.
A large republic can also not preserve their liberty.
The ideal government is a small republic.
So how does like a small republic differ from like a larger republic?
Well, in a large republic, the people, they don't really trust their legislators. They're hesitant to obey their laws.
Just look at Article 1, Section 8. This shows how much power the government would have under the Constitution. This would cause the government to be a tyrant and suppress all of its people. Remember how oppressive the British were, Washington?
Of course I do. How could I ever forget?
The British were so oppressive because they did whatever they wanted to do. And the American government will be no different with the necessary and proper clause.
I guess you're right. The government should have like a limited power, not like a limitless power, which the necessary and proper clause kind of does suggest. And I guess it's like, I have to do what's in the best interest of the people, because that is my duty and everything.
A need for checks in our government is also needed in your Constitution. Because for the central government, they will only be partners in crime, taking all our money.
Very good point. If there are no checks, any branch or person will be able to suppress the people.
That's why the checks are necessary in the Constitution, to prevent a tyrant from coming and taking over. Good shot.
Go.
This is for game, boys.
Come on.
Yes.
Beautiful shot.
Would you guys care to join me for some tea and finish our discussion?
Will do.
Slave, bring us our constitutions.
So what were we last talking about, boys?
I believe Jefferson was about to say something very important.
All right.
Yes. The Congress cannot fight for our interests when the seats are reserved for the aristocracy, whose terms will go on indefinitely. Congress should not be allowed to tax, but should have the power to raise an army in time of need, as long as they do not have a standing army.
Yeah, Congress should not be able to overpower the state governments or have the power to tax.
Government should not be able to regulate commerce.
Congress should also not be allowed, or should be allowed, to declare war, appoint ambassadors, or create or enter treaties as they will, and to establish maritime courts.
Well, do you believe that they should be able to appoint officers or naval officers?
Yes, they need to in order to raise an army.
So what do you guys feel about elections?
We need more elections, once a year, to keep Congress fighting for the people.
Yes, we've taken that into account, good sires.
No, you haven't. Your ideas for a federal judiciary will only divert the state courts, absorbing the power of the states.
A national judiciary would simply have immense power with little responsibilities.
Why are you so opposed to this?
Because this national judiciary would be corrupt.
How?
First of all, there is no power above them to correct their mistakes or control their decisions. Plus, they're in an office for life, so they can do serious damage due to the fact that it would be very difficult to impeach one of them. Also, the judiciary decisions are final, so they would have to decide on one particular interpretation of the law that is correct, and Congress would have no power over that. Congress cannot check their power, which would lead to an oppressive government, as you say.
Well, these courts would be put in place to protect all the citizens of our nation.
Yes, but nonetheless, they will take away our rights.
As well having a president. He is a king. And we all know what happens when there is a ruler who is absolute. That's why there should be no president, so no one can have too much power in the central government.
So what do you propose?
We propose that we will stick to the Articles of Confederation, with minor amendments. People are not satisfied with the trade situation under the Articles, but with proper treaties, pacts, as well as with stronger independent state governments that will be able to make trade agreements with other states and nations. This will most definitely solve our trade situation, making the Articles of Confederation successful.
In addition to what my companion Mr. Henry stated, we will essentially continue to be governed under the Articles of Confederation. We will continue to have independent states bound together in a firm league of friendship. This will allow the people to retain their liberty in order to have a more perfect union.
This is such good stuff.
Hey, who be there?
Who be that?
Oh my god! Go!
He's running up